Hello guys, this is Mike, still on the activities of the matrix and how the matrix is actually being used by the Italian society, by Italy, to actually perpetrate heinous crimes that are tantamount to inhumane, you know, tantamount to inhumanity, acts that you can equate for inhumanity. All right. Um, this type of information is not a conspiracy theory, is not allegation. It is something that can actually be verified. Of course, my identity is known. And so I am living here in Italy, in Torino. So everything I say or do online, I hear is something that can be verified by the Italian society. So then it has to be something that I can really provide evidence for me to actually begin to make this type of transactions. All right. Most of the mental illnesses, psychological disorders and insanity that you see among people in Italy, particularly the black people, are actually perpetrated and carried out by the society, by the Italian society itself, organized by, of course, the police, the carabinieri, with the hospitals. Um, this is information that is, of course, has a credibility and validity, as I've said before. So in a nutshell, you see that the Italian police and carabinieri, they can actually carry out mental alteration of people, of a suspect that maybe they are interrogating, of somebody they don't like or dislike based on their race, their ethnicity, and then have the person also go to their hospital and the hospital to treat it and to treat them right. And the hospital themselves, the doctors, the nurses, and they are complicit to these sort of mental alterations, right? So they will be waiting because before the person arrive in the hospital, the information has already been sent, transferred into their mind. So they understand everything that the person is going through and the causes of it and the reasons why that is the case. Um, I had a similar situation in 2021 when the police and carabinieri actually were carrying out, were altering my brain, doing mental alteration of my brain. And so I was having these psychological and mental disturbance, so that I had to go to their hospital. Of course, like I told you before, they alter your brain, and then of course the response to that, of course, is for you to seek medical attention, psychiatric attention, right? So of course that should be the process, the actions that has to follow because you have to seek to actually treatment for whatever you're going through. But at this time I didn't even know. So when I got there, they were asking me, of course, the psychiatrist at the Torino Central Hospital. They were asking me, do you smoke weed? And this is when even the psychiatrist itself already knew that the alteration, the mental alteration was actually something that was being done and perpetrated by their own network, the network that is owned by their own society, controlled. Okay, again, this is one of the evidences that the police and the carabinieri, they do control this network to a very large extent because they claim they don't control it. Because, of course, they also use it for remote assassination, cross-border assassination. The way that function is now known to the public, and so the people understand the way the dynamics, the way this network really operates, right? So, so the psychiatrist was asking me this type of question. So of course they already knew that the mental distress and alteration was something being carried out by the police and the carabinieri. And yeah, but yet they were asking this type of question. So you see how the structure really is organized to commit crimes, to commit crime within the Italian society. So this is the deep and the hidden and subtle collaboration among the Italian institutions in perpetrating crimes, in inducing crimes that you we considered tantamount to inhumanity. All right, so this is the information I quickly wanted to share with us today. That this is one of the evidences that the Italian police and carabinieri do control the network. They do use it, to carry out crimes, mental alteration, change of sexual preferences and orientation, and cross-border assassination. So all of this information is important because when you come to Italy, you find a lot of black people, many black people who are with insanity, with mental disability. So you begin to wonder, why is there so many people, many uh, black people who are mentally disabled? You find them, most of them, on the street. So this is partly the answer to that, to the reason why that is the case. So one is that the society actually permitted, actually, the society is the one actually putting them on the street. I mean, the society now referring to the institution, the various institutions of Italy, mainly the police and the carabinieri, in collaboration with their health institutions. And of course, as I've said before, it has a global dimension. The network has a global dimension. So it's active all over Nigeria. So most of the health issues in Nigeria, you see mental hospital everywhere. They are also a result. They are also able to carry out this type of crimes beyond their borders, beyond their landmarks. So this is the information I quickly wanted to actually provide on the nature of the Italy society and the collaborations that actually happen between their institutions.